Good morning. Good morning. All right, we'll just wait a couple minutes here for folks to join us before we get started. Okay. Good morning, Tracy. In the meantime, I'm going to display our risk disclosure. All right, that should be visible now. Good morning, Keith. Good morning, Sergey. Good morning, Shadow Hunter. Zach. All right, guys. Let's go ahead and get started. We're already past 5 minutes past the bottom of the hour here. So just kind of want to remind everyone that the content that's about to be published and distributed by the market trader and its affiliates is to be treated as general information only. None of the information provided by the company or contained herein is intended as investment advice and offered to buy, sell, recommend, endorse, sponsor any security, company, or fund. We all understand that future trading does contain a substantial amount of risk, and it's not for every investor. An investor could potentially lose all or more of their investment capital. Only risk capital money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security or lifestyle should be used for trading, and only those individuals with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Again, nothing contained herein is a solicitation to offer to buy, sell futures, options, or forex, and past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Okay. So now that I've gotten the risk disclosure out of the way, the next order of business is to take a look at the news. What do we have in store for us today? So we've received some housing numbers. Okay, new housing, new building permits. So that came in, I guess, lower than expected, which is probably not positive for the market. Okay, and then later this afternoon, I guess, depending on where you're at, we have a Fed member Schmid speaking at 1:10 Eastern time. Okay, so kind of looking forward here a little bit, we have a good amount of news coming our way here for the remainder of the week. Okay, I know we have NVIDIA earnings coming in tomorrow. Okay, after the bell, which could impact the Nasdaq. Okay, so yeah. So again, news wise, nothing really too daunting, I would say, today. But we do have a fair amount of news in store for us for the remainder of the week. Okay. So now that I got both the risk disclosure and the news out of the way here, guys, we'll go ahead and open up our portal here. Open up our trading portal, I should say. Okay. And we'll start. Okay. Let's see, make sure everybody can see. Marcus, are you able to see my charts? I should have a chart of gold up here. Okay, good. All right, perfect. All right, so let's go ahead and clear up the drawings here, guys. Remove as many drawings as I can here, just to get a fresh outlook of the market. Okay. All right, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at the daily chart. and kind of get a feel for what the market is trying to accomplish here. Okay. Well, over the last couple of days, I would say that the market has been a bit bullish, right? We have a series of candles where the market has been trying to head higher. Okay. We are really, I'm kind of looking above here. Really on the daily chart, really have kind of maybe this area over here, maybe 2,700 could be an area where we could see some resistance in this move. Maybe on the outside, 2666. That might be another area that could cause the market to stall a bit. Okay. But right now, I would say that we just had I would say a relatively good pullback in the gold, and I think for the most part, people have used that as an opportunity. At least for now, it appears that they use that as an opportunity to add to their portfolio. Okay, it seems okay because I do see that there is a demand area here. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and highlight that in green. Okay. Okay. And market has rallied away from this area. Okay. It's broken above this prior area that was support. That did not serve as resistance as one might expect, 2625, and we've kind of rallied above it. Okay. So market appears to be a little bit in a appears to be in a rally. Okay. I would say that the next maybe line in the sand here for this market, I'm gonna call 2,700. Okay, 2,700 is our next line in the sand. Okay, for this market, I would expect that to be maybe somewhat an area where we might potentially see a little bit of a reversal in price. Up until that point, I think it's fair to feel like the market will rally to that level before we see any sort of significant reversal. Okay, in price. Okay, looking at the 4-hour chart. Okay, looking at the 4-hour chart, here we are. We have our 233-day EMA in the horizon here. Again, this is another area here. Good morning, Rex. This is another area here around this 233-day EMA, which could cause price to stall. Okay, so we have a couple of areas here. Okay, a couple of areas here. We have our 2,700 level. Okay, that's evident here now on the 4-hour, and then we have a lesser level here around say 2664, which is right around our EMA level. Okay. So we have a couple of areas. Again, we've broken some structure to the upside, but given this large swing to the downside, there's always the possibility of sellers kind of coming in and stepping back into this market. Okay. So that's kind of what I'm seeing. Although the market has kind of rallied from this demand zone, we are coming close or near some areas where we could expect price to potentially stall. I'm going to go ahead and mark this level over here. It's coming in at let's say 2661. A couple of areas of, I guess, that I would maybe pay particular attention to see if we get any sort of reaction away from it. Okay. All right. Moving down to the 30-minute chart. Okay. So 30-minute chart. This is where we start to do some volume analysis. Okay. Among other things. Okay. So first order of business for me is to open up the fixed range volume profile and understand where we are with respect to value. Okay, from a volume perspective here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and open up that level here. Let's see, make sure I start at the right place. Looks like that is correct, and it created a very tiny value area. Okay, it looks like we spent quite a bit of our time in value yesterday. So let's see. So this over here is our. Let's see, which one do I do? This right here is our value area high. Okay, we're gonna mark that in blue. Okay, this here is our value area low. Okay, and then this is our point of control right there. Okay, So as you can see, price is well above this zone. Okay, indicating that the bulls seem to be very much in control of this market. Okay. So next thing that I'm going to be drawing here is our initial balance range. Okay, this is developing for me. Okay, this area right here, I'm going to draw in as yellow. Okay, initial balance range right here. That's about the range that we're in right now. Okay, now the other thing that I'm going to draw is in our anchor VWAP. Okay, I'm going to locate the start of London, and here we are. So we are above a lot of the indicators that we care for or look for in this market, right? We're above value. We are above our 233-day EMA. We are above daily VWAP. We're working to get above our anchor VWAP. Okay. What times do I use for initial balance? Basically, the start of the session. I use 8:30. I use 8:30, 8:30 to 9:30 EST. Okay, that's the time. Although technically the gold market opens up at 8:20. For initial balance purposes, I use the 8:30 time frame. Okay. Why do you push away the overnight VWAP, but the start? Just because. Why don't you use the push away? I am using the push away. This is the push away. This is the candle that reversed. I'm not sure I understand. Why do you use instead of? Okay, all right. So yeah, I'm basically using the push away, right? We have this area is kind of pivot. I personally like to put my anchor VWAPs either in a couple of locations. Okay, so one location is the start of London. Okay, another location is when I see a definitive reversal, right? If I see some sort of V reversal, that's also an area that I'd like to put in my anchor VWAP. Okay. It gives me kind of like a secondary set of eyes on the daily, right? Based on location. All right. So yeah, either it's going to be the start of London or I'm going to find a location where there's a significant reversal in price. Those are the two areas. Okay. All right. Yeah, no problem. All right. So let's go ahead and add our levels here, guys. So we'll go ahead and add our levels to this chart. Okay. There are levels that we're going to be tracking in this market. Okay. So we have a 4-hour supply zone up above us. 2,700, I would say, is an important level for this market. We have value area high coming in at 2616.50. We have value area low coming in at 2610. Okay. So then to see we have some we're up against, looks like we have an average session range from London. Okay, that it's close or near. Okay, that caused a little bit of, it looks like a little bit of a reversal away from the average session range high. Looks like we've already, so we have a lot of areas here, reference levels here. Okay, we have ADR high, we have ASR high. Okay, so these levels could potentially work in a couple of ways. It could be an area that would cause price to reverse, okay, away from, or it could be an area. It could be an area, since we've broken it so early, could be an area that could be kind of a minor bump in the road for a continuation move to the upside. But I always look at the average session range high and the average daily range high as areas for possible reversal in price. Okay, these areas offer possible reversals. Okay, So what to make of this market? Well, like we've been talking, it seems to me that we need to find locations to become bullish. Okay, areas where we can participate in the market and be on the long side. Okay, I'm going to draw a couple of levels here. I would say that this level right here, let's call it 2630. Okay, this level here would be an interesting level for me to participate in a long. Okay. That would be a logical area because I see that this was an area that was resistance, right? This would be a very, and it's also around my daily VWAP. Okay. So this would be a logical area to take along. Okay. Otherwise, if I'm thinking short, which would be a little bit counter trend, then I'm probably looking at either the top of the market here. If I get a break below this initial balance, that might offer me an opportunity. But I feel like we're kind of working against the move here a little bit. We can certainly, yeah, there's a lot of confluence here on reference levels. I think I need probably some more information to decide on where they want to take the market. This level down here seems like a logical discount level here, just because we have an area here of consolidation that broke. This could serve as support. If we break initial balance to the upside, and again, there's a lot of if it breaks initial balance, it's going to break some of these average daily range highs, average daily range lows, but that could also serve as an area. We could use the ADR high or ASR high as reference levels, okay, for a continuation move to the upside. Okay. So these are some of the areas. So kind of going into the market thinking a bit bullish. Yeah, right. It's looking, yes, it's definitely it's definitely looking bullish. But again, that could quickly change on us, right? So if we start to see price close below anchor VWAP, or price begin to close below daily VWAP, okay, then we start to open up the door for price to head lower back down to value, which would also offer us a nice location for a long. Okay. So yeah, so we have to wait and see what price does in this area. Right now, it looks like it's holding up pretty well. Okay, up against a known area to cause reversals. Okay, so right now I would have to, if I had to err on one side, I would have to say find locations to participate in a long trade. Okay, find reference levels that will support your stops, support your trade to the long side. Okay. All right. Let's see if there's any other questions. I don't see them, so we're going to go ahead and move on to the crude oil market. Okay. I think I have the crude oil market here on the right. No, they're both. All right. Let's load. All right. Let's load up the crude oil market here. We'll just modify this to the regular contract here. Okay. We're going to go ahead and open up our charts here. Okay. And we'll just kind of start off with our daily chart here and, kind of get a feel for what the market is trying to accomplish here. And I would say remove some of our drawings here as well. Okay. So unlike move this away for now. Unlike the gold market, this market has been, I guess, a little bit more rangy, I would say, of late. Okay, we've gotten to a high of, say, I don't know, 76, 77, 77, 76, 76, and then we got into lows of 67 or 66, 69. Okay, now what's kind of impressive here for me is that we did manage to close a bullish engulfing candle on a daily chart. Okay, that's something to make note of. Okay, so the market was able to sustain, a bullish activity, and not just weak bullish activity. Okay, this right here is probably one of the stronger bullish candles you'll see on a chart, And the fact that it happened on a daily chart is something to take note of. Okay. Now we've started the day right up on the upper end of this chart. Okay. We did wick down, but did not need to travel too far down in price before we started to find some buyers. Okay. So on the daily chart, it's appearing that we might be in an area where we have some interest on the long side. Okay. Moving on to the 4-hour chart. Okay. So for our chart, we're kind of we are right at a level here of 69 ish. Okay. This is a level of importance for me if it's able to get above, right? So I'm going to go ahead and draw this resistance line that we're, I guess, kind of trading up against. Okay, something somewhere in that range. All right. If we manage to get above, right, we've managed to get above, then this area could serve as an area, for, let's see if I can control this line here. So if we do manage to break above this area here on the left, then I'd like to see, a really good move. And then maybe that same level will offer me an opportunity to, potential long, right? In this area. Okay. So I'd like to see a clean break of this level. And then once that level is broken, then I'd like to maybe use this level as an area for me to support a long trade. Okay. All right. 30-minute chart. Okay. This is kind of where we do our a little bit of our volume analysis here. Okay. How do I determine risk of the trade? Well, I use structure to support my trade. So in this particular case, if I were to formulate a trade, then my stop, honestly, would probably be based on this chart, minimally would need to be below VWAP, minimally. Okay, maybe below this 30-minute candle, somewhere in that range, 68.73, somewhere in that range. Now, more conservative stop would be somewhere below 68.45, but that might be too rich of a stop for most accounts. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at this. Okay. So first thing I want to take a look at and see if I can minimize this. It seems like something is taking a good chunk of my screen here. Okay. Well, we'll leave it. We'll leave it like that. Let's go ahead and move on to the fixed range volume profile. Let's locate the start of the crude oil session as 9 o'clock, and then take that all the way to the close of the session, which is here. Okay, so there's our value range. Right now, we are kind of in the midst of we're in the middle of value. Okay, this is our value area high. Okay, so again, no coincidence here. Okay, that we're looking at an area. If we're really entertaining along, we need to get above, and we're gonna color this as blue because this is the value area range from yesterday. Okay, bottom end of the range here is over here. Okay, so really to really entertain anything in the way of longs, you really need to see price break above that resistance line that I had drawn, right? But also we're right at an area of value here, right? Value area high. So honestly, we probably need to see price break above value before we entertain any sort of trade to the long side. Okay. And then we can use that area of value as a reference level for, but again, we are inside value. So what does inside value imply? Well, inside value implies that that the participants are happy with where price is at, right? If we're inside value, people are happy with where price is at. There's balanced transactions going on in this area. So yes, this is again, we as traders, we spend a lot of time waiting, right? Waiting for clues as to where the market participants want to take the market. Okay. So we're inside value, unlike gold. Gold is well above value. It's very clear that there are bulls in the market. here is less clear, right? Do we have sellers in this market? Do we have buyers in this market? Right? We were kind of thinking that maybe there was a little bit of a setup to the bullish side, not a few minutes ago before we started drawing the value range. Okay, the market just opened. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and start to draw in our initial balance ranges. Okay, this is a developing range, right? We still have another hour of trading to go before this initial balance range gets established. And again, I'm not going to fight where this is going to go here, but I'm just going to go kind of a line in the sand at the moment and kind of get a feel for where this market wants to go. Okay. All right. The last order of business for me is to let's go ahead and draw in our anchor VWAP. So I'm going to locate this area here. Seems to be kind of an ideal area for me to think about putting an anchor VWAP. So I'm going to pick this area right here. You can see that price is above our daily, above our anchor VWAP. So that's an indication that we do have some buyers in this market. Okay. Again, for me right now, minimally, I need to see price get above initial balance and close above initial balance once that's established. And obviously, these two lines also serve as areas right now as areas that I'd like to see it to get above before I would be willing to entertain longs. Okay. All right. Let's see. Next thing is that I want to add here is our levels. Okay. So here are our levels. We'll just add them to the chart. There are levels here. Okay, we'll just double check. We have value area high coming in at 69.37, but 33 is more than adequate. We have our average session ranges above us. Okay, we have average daily range well above. We have our average daily range low, relatively low. So we're kind of in the middle of a range. Okay, so we're not at any sort of extreme in the market. So again, I guess the operative word, as Rex is mentioning here, is that we need to be patient. We need to wait. We need to wait for kind of price action and participants to figure out where they want to take the market. Now, if I had to guess, the direction, I would say that the direction is going to be bullish. But I do not want to necessarily buy in this kind of area here, because I could easily see, that there's a possibility that sellers could end up stepping into this market here. Okay, I'd like to see price make a clean break of this value area range, and then maybe use the top of the, say, 69.40 as a kind of a reference level for me to participate in long trades. Okay. All right. So that's kind of what I'm seeing in the gold. I'm not gold. Crude oil. Yeah, it looks like a range. Yeah. Yes. This is not one of my favorite areas to trade either. Okay. I agree. This is kind of like a 50-50 kind of toss up trade. That's why I want to see price break this area and then decide on what I want to do. Okay. All right. So before I move on to the equity markets, I see that we're about 50%. Participations with the likes. We have about 24 folks in the room, but only about 13 likes. So if anything that I've said so far resonates with you, has supported you in any way in navigating the markets, I'm not sure whether crude oil or gold or any markets, but if they've supported you any way in understanding the markets, I would encourage you to hit the like button. Okay. And also I would encourage you to hit the subscribe button, because the portal is going to go through some changes here in the next couple of weeks. We are establishing a membership where this particular review of the markets will be behind a membership wall. Okay. So while some other information will be available to the public, some of these reviews and future kind of maybe say during session kind of meetings to look for trades could also be in the works as well. Okay. So yeah, encourage you to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. And Okay, that's pretty much my marketing call. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the Nasdaq. Okay, or as I like to call it, NASCrack. Um, because it definitely acts strangely at times for me. Okay, so here's our NASDAQ. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and remove this, remove all our drawings here, remove drawings. Okay, so it looks like let's take a look at the daily chart. Daily chart here. We have looks like we're in the midst of maybe a little bit of more than just a normal pullback in this market. We managed to close a bullish candle here, but now today we've kind of followed that up with a more significant candle to the downside. So I don't know if we're necessarily breaking any levels at this point, but let's see where would I start to draw some of these channels. Why can't I draw anything? Okay, so this is my channel right here. Might tilt this a little bit to the downside here. So that's kind of what we're looking at here in this market. So assuming that we do get below this level, then I would say that we start to open up the door, certainly to 20,000 and maybe as low as 19,000. Okay. So very important area in the NASDAQ. We're starting to see some structure that would indicate that maybe there's some more downside opportunities in the NASDAQ. And that stands to reason, right? Given the action that we're seeing in the gold market, right? The gold market is rallying, right, while the equity market is selling off a little bit. Okay, so I would say that this 20,000 level, I would say, is a relatively important level in this market. Okay, would not, I guess, if I was bullish on Nasdaq, I would not want to see price get below 20,000. Okay, and close below 20,000, because that could open up the door for us to revisit this 19,000 level. Okay. All right. So while I still say that the market is in a bullish channel, it's weakening. Okay. It's weakening. All right. So I was thinking that maybe this bullish candle was going to create a little bit of a rally. It did not. It actually did not find the buyers necessary to drive the market higher. So what does the market do? The market is in an auction. It auctions lower, looking for buyers to kind of balance the market. Okay. All right. So daily is looking a bit bearish. 4-hour is also looking equally bearish, and we're starting to get below some of these levels that I care about. We're below our average daily range. We're not average daily range, but our VWAP, our potentially our EMAs here. Okay. So again, this area here, 20,250, I would say that would be kind of the first line in the sand that I would like to draw in this market. Okay. As an area, maybe to look to maybe potentially see a reversal in price. If we do manage to get through this area, then I would say that certainly 20,000, maybe some of these lower prices that I had mentioned earlier are in the works. Okay, looking at the 30-minute chart. All right, so 30-minute chart, we're about 20 minutes away from the open of the market. So we are on the bottom end of the channel, developing a bullish candle, but below our VWAP. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and see if I can locate an area where I'd like to put in my anchor VWAP. Somewhere in this area seems like a good area to do this. So looks like there's a number of sellers in the market. Okay, London sold off, right? London looks like has taken this market lower. Okay, now the question is, will the US then take this market back higher, right? And kind of play this kind of cat and mouse game. I don't know. Right now we're seeing indications that might be the case. Okay. But yeah, there's a fair number of sellers in this market at the moment. Okay. Next thing I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be opening up my fixed range volume profile. I'm going to locate the start of the session here at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, drag that to the close of the New York session, and then I see that price is below our value area low. Right? Look at how nicely it created a value area low reversal. Right? There was an attempt to get price back inside value. What happened? Sellers stepped in again. Okay. Now, again, these levels, the reason I put these levels on my chart is because they provide me areas, reference levels to participate in the market. I just don't put these levels on my chart and take up space, right? If they didn't secure or provide me areas where I can manage my risk for trades. Okay. Unfortunately, I was not really in a position to take any sort of trade here. But the fact is that price did extend value, right, to the downside. It rallied back up to the low of value, and sellers stepped back into this market. So now, could we expect the same around this level here? Okay, around I'm just going to go ahead and draw this area here. Okay, could we potentially expect the same here? Could this be an area where sellers step in again? This is an area where we have anchored VWAP. This is an area where we have daily VWAP. Could this be an area for a continuation move to the downside? Okay, right. So that would be an area that I would stock given what I'm seeing. Okay, this might be a logical area to take a short. All right, right around this, maybe as early as 20,000. I don't know, 520, maybe as high as 20,550. Somewhere in this range could offer us a nice opportunity to the short side. Okay. All right. Let's see if I got my anchor VWAP. I got my volume profile. So the only thing I need to add to this chart here are the levels. So we'll do that next. We'll add the levels that I'm tracking on this market. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and put this here, add that there. And here are our levels that we're tracking in this market. We're just going to spot check some of these areas here. We have 20,693. We have our average session lows that we've exceeded. Looks like we've exceeded some of these lows here. Certainly the daily range and the average session range. Now these certainly the average session ranges that I have here, guys, are from the London session. Okay, so these are going to adjust with the open of the New York session here in about 17 minutes or so. Okay, so I wouldn't read into those too much. Okay, but know that price has managed to get below an average session range from London, which I would say is relatively significant. Okay. And as you can see here, and I'm going to maybe draw this line a little bit lower. You can see here, this was an area of support in the past. We managed to crush it. Okay. This area right here happens to be average session range lows, average daily range lows. This area right here, and we've exceeded it to the downside. Okay. So the question is that going to be the kind of the catalyst for further price move to the downside? Is this area in here, going to act as an area for potential area to fade? Okay. This area right here, is this an area that we want to fade? Okay. Yeah, it's possible. Okay. I don't rule that out. Okay. That's certainly an area that maybe I would like to take a short opportunity to the downside. Okay. This area right here. All right. If we do manage to get above, right, if price manages to get above, say 20,600, then maybe we have a value area acceptance trade that takes us back up to 20,700. Okay, so that would be kind of a bullish scenario, right? But right now, I feel like the bears are very much in control of this market, and that I need to find a price location that will support that view, right? If I get price to break some structure to the upside, then obviously I will alter that view. New York morning is, yeah, definitely super volatile. Yeah, you definitely need to be careful in the morning session. Again, I would say that for NASDAQ, minimally, you need to wait at least 15 to 30 minutes minimally, all right, to kind of shake out the cobwebs before taking on any sort of trades. Okay. And with NASDAQ in particular, I would say that you need to find good levels of support or resistance to participate, because there's a fair amount of volatility in that market. Okay. All right. Let's see. I think I covered what I wanted to cover. So again, um, going into this session, I'm thinking more bearish, okay, in this market. In order for me to really change my tune, I would say that I need to see price close inside value, okay, from yesterday, even before I start to think about serious long trades. Okay. Now, if I want to take longs to take me back to VWAP or the edge of value, those are I would call those more scalp trades. Okay. But if I'm looking for a serious trend trade, I need to see price get above 20,600 if I'm thinking long. Okay. All right. Yeah, I think there's a number of levels above that could offer us areas to support longs, no doubt. Okay, we just need to get above. We just need to get above them, right? So that's kind of my view. Yeah, you're welcome, Frizu. All right, let's go ahead and look at the ES here and see what the ES has in store for us. Again, if I didn't know I was looking at a different market, I would say that I'm looking at the exact same market I just looked at. So it almost seems like a replica, but nonetheless, we'll take a look at this. Now we can see, okay, and I don't know if we witnessed this in the Nasdaq, right? Right, but we're seeing here that we are breaking some areas that what I would have expected to be supportive. Okay, so we price broke this area of resistance, right? It broke this area of resistance here, correct? It rallied. So my view would have been that this would be this area right here at let's say 58.89 would have been a logical area, right, for price to reverse away from. Okay, but it did not. It's continued its sell off to the downside. So the fact that it's continued this its sell off, then you start to look at where's the next logical level of support? Okay, well, the next logical level of support for this market is probably down here around 57.50. Okay, that's the next logical level of support. Well, what do I do in the meantime? Well, in the meantime, I would say that you probably need to look for a trade to the downside. Okay, you need to look for a trade that's aligned with what the daily is trying to accomplish here. Okay, for our chart. Okay, for our chart, we're up against this EMA level. This is a level that I look at often for reversals in price. Okay, so this could offer us an area for price. This would be counter to maybe my view on the daily, right? This area could offer us an area for a reversal in price. Okay, if we close below, then I would say that the sentiment starts to turn a bit more bearish, right? If you look at our ADX indicator, you see our negative DI is above our positive and growing strength. Our ADX indicator itself is also growing strength. So there's a fair amount of momentum in play in the ES market to the downside. Okay, looking at the 30-minute chart. Okay, 30-minute chart. Again, we have a developing bullish candle here. We had a nice reversal, okay, away from VWAP, okay, to the downside. Okay, so as part of a continuation trade pre-market, I'm going to go ahead and open up my fixed range volume profile here. Okay, so fixed range volume profile. I'm going to start off by looking at where we are in reference to value from yesterday, and I can see that we are below value. Okay, I can see that that there's a sentiment remains to the downside. Okay, again, a little bit of confluence here between the daily and our value area low. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we had the exact same play, right, take place with the Nasdaq, right? We have this area here, right, that offered us a nice opportunity to the downside. It's just not a time frame that I'm generally look for trades, right? But price breached value area low, retraced back to a known level that we care about, and continued to the downside further. Okay, excellent. This would have been an excellent trade location to support the trade. The problem is I wasn't really looking for an opportunity at that moment in time. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and draw in our anchored VWAP. So we're going to locate the start of London. There it is. So you can see that price is below both our anchored VWAP and our daily VWAP, indicating that there's a fair number of sellers in this market. Okay. Next thing I'm going to add here is our levels that we're tracking in this market. We'll do that. Okay. Here, there are levels that we're tracking in this market. We're just going to spot check these and call out maybe a couple of levels here as far as ADR zones, ADRs. So we had price here at 58.61. Okay, they're both indicating below some of these ranges. This average session range will get readjusted with the open of the session here in about 8 minutes. But we've exceeded our normal ranges. Okay, average ranges that we see in these markets. Okay. Again, the fact that we exceed these ranges so early in the market is an indication that we could be in a sustained move to the downside. Now we are seeing a little bit of a rally. Now, I don't know if this is just a kind of a retracement. It would be interesting for me to see whether price is able to hold, okay, this level right here. I see that was an area of prior support. Now it's been breached. So if it's if the sellers are serious, then I wouldn't expect price to exceed this. Possible, could be a possible fake out. I don't know. Right now, what I'm interested in seeing is does 58.86 or 58.88 hold? All right, in this market. Do we manage? Does the daily and the anchor VWAP, does that continue to provide us guidance as to a continuation move to the downside? Okay, so value area low has already shown to be an area that has proven to be resistant. Now, if I'm more interested in the longs, okay, well, obviously there's obviously less risk, I guess, to take to make that kind of determination. But for me, I would like to see price get above some structure here, right? Get above my daily or anchor VWAP to really start to begin to embrace maybe some longer trades. Okay. But I'm at a good, this is not a bad risk reward location at its current levels. I'm just not sure I want to be the one to pick a bottom. Okay. All right. Let's see if there's anything else I should be saying about this market. I think has been already covered. So like NASDAQ, I think right now I'm kind of looking for opportunities to the short side in this market. I've already kind of drawn a level here, kind of 58.888. Okay. Is a level, I would say value area low remains a level. My VWAPs daily and anchored will also be another level that I can entertain. Okay. If price starts to get above some of these levels that we have tracked here, then maybe we need to change our view of the market. But I need price to prove that to me. Okay. I'm just not going to randomly pick and say, oh, okay, well, I see this green candle. That must mean that we're headed higher. No, on the contrary, this is just might be a minor respite. I mean, it might be sellers taking profits. We don't know. We don't know who these buyers are. Okay. So I would say right now, I would say my view as we entered the market is bearish. Okay. So let's take one last view of one last market here, and that's the Dow. Okay. All right, and we'll again do our normal review. We start with a daily, kind of get a feel for what the market is trying to accomplish. So the Dow looks a lot like to me like the ES, right? We broke in some structure here to the downside, right? What was resistant now becomes what I would have expected to be support. Well, that wasn't in the cards. Price has kind of breached this level to the downside. Okay, so now I'm assuming that this candle closes the way it is shaped out to be right now. My view of this is that we are going to see here. This could offer an area of resistance for a continuation move to the downside. Okay, a little pullback area. Okay, this area right here now. Okay, 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart, there's that level. We're coming close to some levels that we care about here. The 233-day EMA is rapidly being reached. Okay, if it hasn't already reached it, looks like it did bounce off of it. Okay, so again, this could be a logical area for price to rally from. Okay, cannot rule that out. Okay, this 233-day EMA works like that way, right? This could be an area where we rally from. But again, I'd like to see price break some structure to the upside in order for me to embrace that move. Okay. 30-minute chart. 30-minute chart. We have a developing candle here that's to the bullish side. I'm going to go ahead and open up my fixed range volume profile here. I'm going to locate the start of the session here from yesterday, right about here, drag that across. And there we have our value range. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and draw in my value area low. Okay, so there's our value area low. The price did not even make it back to value after it crossed it, unlike the ES. So this is, again, another indication that maybe even the Dow is even weaker. Okay, once we exceeded, price was not allowed to come back anywhere close to value before it sold off again. Okay. So again, value area low will be a logical area for me to use as a potential area for a continuation move to the downside. Okay. This area now that's being developed here is another area that I'm going to use as an area for maybe a potential continuation trade. Okay. This might actually fall in line with some of the anchor VWAPs and the daily VWAPs that we've drawn. I haven't drawn my anchor VWAP. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay. So this is our anchor VWAP. There it is. Okay. So you see price well below those levels. Okay. So a couple of areas that we can look at maybe for a continuation trade to the downside. Okay. All right. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and add some of these levels here, guys. So we have, let's see, value area low here at 43.88, 43.488, 43.488. That's our value area low. Okay. Let's see what else. Okay, our value area high is coming in at 43.578, 43.578. That's our value area high. Okay. Let's see. Point of control, it looks like is right on top of this resistance line that I drew here. Let's call it 43.515. 43.515 is our point of control. Okay, of control. And then the only other item that I maybe want to track here, and I'm going to have to pull it off of a different platform here, is our average daily or session range. Okay, so we'll pull that off of a different chart platform. So we have 43,750 on the upper end, 43,330 on the lower end. So we have on the upper end here 43,750, 43,750. That's our average daily range high. Okay. And then what was the lower end of that? Was 43,333. Okay, 43,333. That's our average daily range low. Okay, so these are, I guess, some key numbers I'm going to be tracking here. The market has opened. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start to draw in our initial balance ranges here. Okay, are being established here. Okay, so yeah, I think that's pretty much what I wanted to cover, and the instruments I want to cover for this session, guys. So happy to entertain any questions if you have them. If not, then I would say, again, we probably need to look for some bearish opportunities in the equities, some long opportunities in the gold, and I can't remember which direction crude oil, but I believe it was to the bullish side. Okay. All right. So yeah, that's it for me, guys. We'll have our normal group coaching call later this afternoon. Don't hesitate as you're making your way out the door to hit the subscribe button, to hit the like button. Again, the portal, this particular channel is going to go through a little bit of a change here on the membership side. So if you are a current subscriber, that's going to translate into some preferred pricing. Okay. If you're not a subscriber at the moment, we make that switch, then you'll pay normal pricing. Okay. All right. So again, guys, as we close every session, trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader. All right, guys, have an excellent day trading, and we'll talk soon.